What's up, everybody? DracoFin here, and today we're gonna be talking about the Legend of Zelda's 36th anniversary. So, if you don't know, the first Zelda game was released on February 21st, 36 years ago. So, 2 days ago was the 36th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda. I love this series. This is my favorite game series, as you could probably tell from my channel. But just a very enjoyable series, one that I grew up with, one that I still love to this day. I played like 90% of the games, and I just really like it, man. And I kind of want to just talk about 36th anniversary and where the series is going. So if you don't know, last year we got the Skyward Sword HD and the Game and Watch. I think like little Legend of Zelda like handheld thing for the 35th anniversary. And this year, Nintendo did not do anything for the 36th anniversary. If you've been keeping up with Twitter, Nintendo has been tweeting out like images from Majora's Mask, like 3 days remaining, 2 days remaining, 1 day remaining. And so I saw some people thinking that they thought that maybe that's what was for the 36th anniversary was the Nintendo 64, Nintendo Online, Majora's Mask release. But I'm pretty sure we've known about that for a while. Like, when they first announced the N64 stuff, like way back when, they put Ocarina of Time in the debut titles, and then I'm pretty sure they said that in the future, Majora's Mask is going to come out. And even if they didn't, like, it's not that hard to put two and two together and think, okay, they put Ocarina of Time, we're probably going to get Majora's Mask. So, yeah, I don't think they're doing anything for this year's anniversary, which is a shame. I know 36 isn't like okay, it's not like an even digit. It's not like 30, like, like numbers that end with 5 or 0 are typically more significant. Like, if this was the 40th anniversary, I'm sure they'd be doing something. I don't know. 36 is 6 squared. Like, that's something, right? I don't know. But regardless, they didn't do anything, and it was a little sad. I don't know what I was expecting. But I would say like the easiest thing they can do is just port Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the Switch, right? I would maybe understand like if they were taking a while because the games haven't been ported already, right? Like if Wind Waker's only release was on the GameCube, then I could understand like okay, they got to like remap a bunch of stuff. That may take time. I don't know. Like I wouldn't be as like upset or not. I guess upset's not the right word, but I wouldn't be as like shocked it hasn't happened yet. But they ported it to the Wii U, and the Wii U, like regardless of your thoughts on the system, like I would say the Wii U's like Pro controller is pretty similar to the Switch one, and like the buttons are oriented in the same way. I'm not a game designer, so I may be talking out of my ass, but I can't imagine it's that hard to port this to the Switch. I don't know. And the Switch can definitely handle it, right? The Switch is a stronger system than the Wii U. There should be no reason why they haven't done it. That and Twilight Princess. I don't know what they're waiting for. Like, it's free money. It's free money. I know a lot of people when Skyward Sword HD released, they were like, oh my god, people are paying $60 for a Wii port that hasn't changed anything. I'm people. I paid $60 for that. I'd do it again. Like, am I an idiot for that? I don't, like, you can call me an idiot, but, like, I'm not ashamed of that. I love Skyward Sword. I love Zelda. Of course I'm going to buy it. And, like, I know I'm not the only one, because Skyward Sword HD, I'm pretty sure, sold pretty well. So, why they have not decided to release those two games as ports is something I'll never understand. But speaking of ports, because those two are the easiest ones, because they've already been ported. Skyward Sword was harder. I understand because Breath of the Wild 2 is taking place, like, in the skies, that, like, having Skyward Sword on the Switch is important for, like, maybe context of Breath of the Wild 2, which is cool. I can appreciate that they're thinking about that. But at the same time, part of me is just kind of like, dog, like, it shouldn't be that hard for the other two. You don't need to make, like, Skyward Sword HD looked great. I thought the graphics were great, right? But, like, even if you wanted to give me the same graphics again. Like, I'd be okay with it. Just give us the games to play on Switch, man. Playing those things portably would be great. And just a lot of people don't have Wii U's, man. I'm one of the few that still uses mine. But I'm at college right now, and that's back home. Yeah, I don't know. It would just be really nice to have everything on one system, like the Switch, which would be great. And speaking of that, actually, Nintendo recently announced that they were going to be shutting down the 3DS and Wii U eShop. And let me tell you, if you have a 3DS or a Wii U, I'm scared, right? I don't want to sit here and tell you, like, you should just spend as much money as you can, get all the Zelda games or all the games you want, right? Because then if they end up porting it, that's a waste of money. But, like, I don't know. Okay. I don't know how. Okay. For those of you who don't know, I love Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks, probably top 5 Zelda game for me. A very underrated game. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I fucking love it, right? Spirit Tracks is a game, and Phantom Hourglass, that I can't see them porting to the Switch at all, because the main core of the game is the touchscreen, right? And Switch does have a touchscreen, but you never use it, right? Because there's no way to use it when it's docked. And most people play the Switch, I imagine, like docked, or like, I don't know. I think they can't release a game that you can only play in portable. I think that's pretty dumb. And because of that, they can't port Spirit Tracks or Phantom Hourglass without completely overhauling something. I don't know what it is, but they have to overhaul something. So, like, for them to take so long on those two, it makes more sense. I can understand that. But something like Link Between Worlds, which is just classic controls, I think the only thing is that, no, even that, like, a joystick and the circle pad for the 3DS should still work the same, right? I can't see what is so hard about Link Between Worlds. I can't see what's hard about Triforce Heroes. Triforce Heroes, unpopular opinion, man. A lot of people didn't like Triforce Heroes. I really wanted to play Triforce Heroes because I think it looks fun. But I'm also like one of those weird ones that'll consume anything Zelda and like enjoy it. Like, I think really the only Zelda game I've somewhat disliked was Age of Calamity. And that's coming from a Breath of the Wild mega fan, but that's a whole other rant. They could really port Link Between Worlds. They could port all this crap, man. I don't know why they're not doing it. I imagine there's a reason. If that's what they have to, if they have to give all this up to make Breath of the Wild 2 as good, if not better than the first one, then fine. Go ahead. You take your time. But speaking of which, sorry, I didn't come into this video with any plan. I'm just kind of like here spilling my thoughts. But speaking of Breath of the Wild 2, I am actually one of the few who not only wouldn't mind if it was delayed, I would maybe prefer if it came out 2023. Here's why. I know, blasphemy, but hear me out. It took them, what, like 10 years to make Breath of the Wild? Like, I think back in 2014, we got a very small trailer of Link on a horse in Breath of the Wild. That is all we saw. And then a little while later, we saw Link fighting the Guardian, and then the Ancient Arrow came out. That trailer. And then, you know, the game kind of gradually brought up hype. But, like, I think a lot of people forget that Breath of the Wild is, like, a 10-year-old project. I'm pretty sure it's a 10-year-old project. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me on that. But I'm pretty sure it was in development for 10 years. And they have started development on Breath of the Wild 2. Which has been in development for, not only, but it's been in development for 5 years now. A little over 5 years. Because I'm pretty sure they announced it. No. It's been like 3 years, right? Because when did they announce it? Okay, so apparently it's been in development since 2017. So fair enough. But the thing is we don't know anything about Breath of the Wild 2. So this is all speculation. But if you think about it, the terrain and the setting is now going to include the sky. What that means for the game is something I don't know, right? Does that mean that they're keeping the ground Hyrule the same and they're just adding stuff above? I don't think that's the right play, right? And actually, now that I say this out loud, that we already saw they changed some things, right? Because there's like the Talus Bokoblin combination, like the tandem thing, and that was on the ground. So that was in Hyrule. So that's one thing. I guess they're changing, but like I wouldn't say they need to overhaul the base world, but they need to change something about it, right? Again, I don't think it's I don't think they can just get away with just like changing the types of enemies. They got to change something about the base world, right? Because unless you make like the only way they could I think you can justify that is like if they make Skyloft or like the land above the skies just as big as the base world, right? If with just as much stuff to do. If they do that, then fine. You can keep the base world below. But I think that is very unfeasible. That's very unreasonable. The size of the game would be huge. I don't see that happening at all. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I think there'll be a lot to do above the skies, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there will be that much to do like on the base world, right? And because of that, they need to change the base world a bit. I think Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece through and through. I think really it is like one of the few games I can look at and say this is perfect. At least in my opinion, that's just how I feel. And like, okay, when did let me look this up. Okay, 2011, they started development for Breath of the Wild, meaning it was a 6-year development. Oh, okay. Now that I said that out loud, okay, fair enough. I don't know, man. It was 6 years. Breath of the Wild is perfect. If they need another 6 years to make the sequel just as perfect, if not more perfect, then I say give it to them, man. Frankly, like, and like when you think about it, I know a lot of people would be disappointed if they delayed it, but we're getting so many banger games this year. We're getting Mario Kart DLC, we're getting Kirby, we're getting Fire Emblem Warriors if you're into that. I'm into that, but like, yeah, I'm just not sure. I hope it would obviously be great to play 2022, but my biggest fear is that they somehow drop the ball, right? Because now I've been spoiled with the original Breath of the Wild. It's so good. It's too good. How do you make a sequel to that and not drop the ball? That is my biggest worry. I don't know. I think the idea that like the title of Breath of the Wild being like, or like the legacy behind it, the prestige behind that name being tarnished does kind of scare me a bit, because it is my favorite game and I love seeing it get the respect it deserves, and I just hope Breath of the Wild 2 lives up. I don't think it'll be delayed, but I would be one of the few like Omega Zelda fans that would actually be like, okay, that's fine, take your time. That's my thought process. Like, I'm at the point where I like, if it takes that long to make something as quality, go ahead, take all the time you need. Obviously, I like to play the game before I have grandchildren, but I mean, like, if you need an extra like 5-6 months or even a year, I'd be like, you got it, chief, you do your thing. And yeah, those are my thoughts on it. But yeah, anyway, back to the 36th anniversary. They didn't do anything for the 36th anniversary, which is, I guess, expected, but still a little disappointed. Like, it could have been something. But like I mentioned earlier, like Link Between Worlds port, banging. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, banging. Unpopular opinion here, but if they port Triforce Heroes, that's banging for me. I never played Link's Crossbow Training. I'd be down. Like, I just need something Zelda-based, man, on my Switch. Speaking of Link's Awakening, I actually have not played Link's Awakening. I am going to. I will admit, I was one of the few that when Link's Awakening first came out, I was not a fan of the art direction. I don't know. From what I've heard, I did some research recently on it, and it's actually just the same game. It's just an art direction. But, like, it's just the way the art direction was presented to me made me think of it as, like, a kid version of Link's Awakening. And I was like, why would I want to play this, you know? And I was really sad about it, but I'm very happy that I was wrong. And I am looking forward to play it. I will play it. And, man, 2D Zelda, man, is fucking great. I know there's actually more Zelda on the Switch than I'm giving it credit for, right? You have Breath of the Wild, you have both Hyrule Warriors, you have you have Ocarina, Majora's Mask now, you have Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. You got a lot of stuff. I definitely do not want to sell that short. I just think that I don't know, just one more 3D title would be great. Like, can you guys believe Skyward Sword came out in July? It's been 8 months. Am I doing my math right? It's been 7 months since Skyward Sword came out. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. It's been over and a half a year. It felt like I just downloaded it yesterday and was just like falling in love with the motion controls again, you know? Like it's odd. I've actually been probably gonna replay it pretty soon just because banger game, man. Really good game. That's that. And real quick, I just wanted to talk about like the future of Zelda. Like what is in store for this series? Because I know there are a lot of people that actually like a lot of old school Zelda fans, or not old school, but like a lot of like 3D Zelda fans that liked Breath of the Wild, but still would prefer the original formula, right? And if Breath of the Wild sells as good as it does, is it going to shake up the series forever? In my mind, no, I don't think so. I can't see them making a third Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be the final one. As sad as that is for me, and I know many people, I think it will be. But in addition to that, like, do I think that the series is going to return to the classic dungeon hunting formula? I think there definitely will be some changes. Like, I don't think we're going to get another game like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, verbatim. But I think they are going to return to the old school formula. Or technically new school formula, because the old school formula is actually Breath of the Wild's formula, right? They give you, like, if you've never played the first Legend of Zelda, it's just a guy, you go into a cave, he gives you a sword, and boom, you go out and explore. And that's basically what Breath of the Wild is. But games like Link to the Past, games like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask are more streamlined, right? You have like a set path you have to take, and you go fight dungeons, fight bosses, which is definitely something Breath of the Wild was missing. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they return to that formula. I don't know what they would do, frankly. But I would say the immediate future, like the next 3-4 years of Zelda as a series, is going to be the Breath of the Wild 2 sequel and ports. Past that, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make a Breath of the Wild 3. I don't see that happening. Well, I guess it depends on, like, the scope of 2, right? But, like, I don't think any Zelda game has gotten 2 sequels. There's not been like a trilogy of Zelda games, right? It was the both we have right now. It was Ocarina of Time into Majora's Mask, and then it was Wind Waker into Phantom Hourglass. Am I missing something? I haven't played the Oracle games actually. Are Oracle of Ages and Seasons like sequels or prequels, or I don't know what their relationship is, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. But like Zelda as a series, I don't think has gone to like a three-peat, you know? And I don't think Breath of the Wild is going to break that mold. So it'd be cool to see. Like, I wonder with just updated game design and updated like graphics, how they're going to tackle a big Zelda title that is a dungeon crawler. You know, like the originals. I love dungeons. I love both styles of Zelda games. I know Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. I said that, but I love the dungeon formula just as much as I love the open world gameplay of Breath of the Wild. Both are great to me. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. 36th anniversary, future of the series, Breath of the Wild 2 I mentioned. Oh, by the way, if you're a Zelda fan, please play Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, not Age of Calamity. I'm not recommending Age of Calamity, and that is coming from the Breath of the Wild stan. No. Nuh-uh, not for me. It was alright. But Definitive Edition is a fucking amazing game, right? Like, even if the gameplay is not for you, I think just the ability to play as all these Zelda characters is so cool. Like, playing as Yuga, playing as Toon Link, playing as... well, you could already play as Toon Link, but like Tetra, King of Red Lions, you know, like the OCs in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition are really good. Lana's a great character, Sia's a great character. You get to play as like Midna, Agatha, Zant, like really, really, really good. Very good game. Even if you hate the gameplay, I think just the idea of playing as those characters is cool. Getting to see these old terrains in updated ways is cool. These old characters getting new art is cool. Like, it's just great. I guess you don't need to buy the game to enjoy that, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, I would love it if for the 37th anniversary they hit us with the ahaha, here you go, Wind Waker port or Twilight Princess port. Real quick, I mentioned this earlier, but when I said that you shouldn't rush to buy everything, take that with a grain of salt. We don't know exactly how Nintendo is going to go about doing this. If like, are they closing down the eShop on the 3DS and Wii U so that they could just port all that shit to the Switch? That is the ideal scenario. So you don't need to buy everything on these older consoles. But games like Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, I don't think they're going to do that. So if you want to play those games, I think you should pick them up now. But then again, they're not on the eShop, so I guess you don't... No, they are on the Wii U. Pick them up on the Wii U. Pick them up. Those, I think I would pick up. Because I think they're also pretty cheap. Like, I would be too scared of missing out on those. But I mean, obviously, like, I'm always going to be scared, and I'm a person that doesn't really mind owning 2 copies of something, so I think I am going to go ahead and just pick up everything I can on the eShops. Like, I have Majora's Mask. I need to get Ocarina of Time. I actually own both cartridges, but my older brother lost both of them, so that's cool. But I think that's it. 36th anniversary, talked about everything. Yeah, that's it. This is just me ranting on the 36th anniversary. Yeah. I'll just throw some gameplay for this with Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword gameplay. But yeah, that is going to be it from me today. If you enjoyed, if you like Zelda, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.